Hi there, boys and girls. Welcome back to BackPocketGameReviews, and today we are going to talk about one of my buddies and a situation he is currently going through. So one thing you don't understand if you've ever become, if you're not like on YouTube, you have people that you know that are kind of like your friends that are other YouTubers that you really maybe never met in real life. Maybe you don't even really talk outside of like text. So Tipster's someone that me and him have DM'd back and forth numerous different times. Sometimes we have some relatively deep conversations. He's a really good guy. A lot of you probably know Tipster Gaming. I know that a lot of my subscribers actually at one point requested that I do a collab with him. And at some point that may happen. We have attempted to do one before. We've talked about it, and just some stuff kind of came up. So, we're going to talk about what he's going through right now currently, because it's kind of shitty, to say the least. So Tipster did some stuff on the whole Triforce thing that was going down. Triforce is someone who is a record holder. I can't remember. Twin Galaxies. He held records with Twin Galaxies, and he got right into the whole Triforce stuff right after he did the Billy Mitchell stuff. These are old school records on arcade cabinets that are held by other gamers. So he was talking about some stuff having to do with that and some drama that was going on around those particular high score rankings. Think of Twin Galaxies as like Guinness, but specifically for old school retro arcade cabinets. It's essentially what it is. Now they have rules and different things that regulate and constitute what makes it a valid high score, and some of these high scores came into question, and some of the attempts at these high scores came into question, that they were either on wrongful hardware and whatnot. Well, while he was covering these topics, specifically the one about Triforce, an individual with about 4,000 subscribers reached out saying, "Hey, you should interview me on this topic." He was just sort of like, why? Just fair? I mean, it's his topic. He's covering it just fine. Well, Tipster talked to him a little bit in Discord. Apparently, he was just like, yeah, I really didn't want to work with the dude after talking to him either. So, keep in mind, if you come off as batshit crazy, most people don't want to work with you. Just an FYI. So not only was he batshit crazy, but he also throws a temper tantrum like a child. We're going to get to this. So because Tipster refused to work with him, he sent a demanding letter to Tipster's MCN. Now, granted, I am not a huge fan of MCNs, and I am going to paraphrase this, but keep in mind, even my paraphrasing is probably going to be less shitty than the way he worded his email. So he emailed them essentially saying, if they did not drop Tipster by a certain date as the MCN, because he was filing false copyright strikes against Tipster. If you're not aware of what constitutes a copyright strike, if I were to take someone else's video and toss it up, then you could copyright strike it. But anytime Tipster mentioned this guy, he would just file a false copyright strike. I'm allowed to mention you. If I don't like your content, I can critique your content. A lot of you probably know, because I've done that here. Granted, I typically stay away from using other people's content, except for in one particular occasion where I reacted to a set of videos. A lot of you probably remember that. A lot of you probably remember the drama that unfolded around that as well. But it is pretty shitty that if you don't want to work with another YouTuber and you don't really like the other YouTuber's content and you voice your opinion about their content, that they're able to scream like petulant little babies, and rather than actually criticize and attack your content or say what they feel that they dislike about your content, they have to take it personally and scream like children. Now, this 4,000 subscriber individual, petulant child is what we will call him, wrote this, "You better drop Tipster by this date, or I'm going to come down there seeking fucking legal action." I mean, he cussed up a storm. Keep in mind, if your lawyer were to write a demand letter about something, it's pretty shitty. And they tried to accuse Tipster of doxing him and other stuff like this. Tipster just pretty much said he didn't really like his content and kind of called the dude a crazy batshit nut job, which is probably pretty fair. But then he also threatened to come down to the MCN's office, which the MCN apparently took as a threat. Granted, he did say with his lawyers, which kind of makes it not seem as threaty, but rather than defend Tipster, you know, the whole point of an MCN is to defend you against copyright claims and strikes, and to protect you in these kinds of situations. That's why you give them a portion of your earnings. You are literally splitting your ad revenue with them for protection. They dropped him. They were like, we're not impressed by your threat, but please don't ever come to our office. Our employees are bothered by your requests and your threats. And then dropped Tipster. Oh, shitty. Wow. Good job, Screenwave Media. That was Screenwave Media, by the way. That was his MCN. This is also another reason why I just wouldn't use an MCN. I've never actually had a copyright strike. I have videos that are owned by the copyright holder. 2 of those are because they are Nintendo videos with Nintendo gameplay, which Nintendo automatically does, and then I get like a penny per video because of the creators program, which is trash. Outside of that too, though, I've had one where what happened was it was uncopywritten music, and they were allowing you, it was one of those channels that here's some uncopywritten music. It was my Frisbee golf video that I did with my buddy Sean, and the music all of a sudden got copywritten, and they're like, you no longer own the rights to this video. They did it over a year later, which kind of pissed me the hell off. So when you wonder why BackPocketGameReviews doesn't really use music in his videos, and why he doesn't always use other creators' clips and stuff like that, it's because I'm trying to avoid that amount of drama. I don't like dealing with it, which is just my personal standpoint. I know other YouTubers do it. I just don't want to have to deal with battling it. I have no issue reacting or talking to another creator, but Tipster even made it onto Boogie's channel. Boogie actually interviewed him about this, and the only part I kind of disagree with Tipster on is he said that he kind of stoked the fires. I don't really feel like you should have to back down just because some dude is crazy as shit. If the person is acting crazy, you should be able to call them out for being crazy. Now, granted, I do think this individual makes some pretty garbage content. It literally looks like, I don't even know how to explain this. It's just not very good, would be the best way to say it. Nor is he very good at speaking publicly, which is kind of a big part of YouTube. If you can't hold a conversation and be able to talk to yourself, literally what I'm doing here is essentially I'm giving internal dialogue. As I said in my stream last night, I'm almost like Zach on Saved by the Bell, where I'm breaking the third wall, and I understand, well, I'm not really technically breaking the third wall because there's like no pretend, like we're not acting like I'm in a TV show, but I am giving my internal dialogue and explaining situations from my point of view and what I think about them. That's typically the best way I can give that. So if you aren't able to speak coherently, you have a couple of different ways you can go. For example, you can do jump cuts. So I might be able to get a couple sentences out real well, and then I start to stammer, I can jump cut that out. I personally am more for the method of one and done. I think I'm pretty decent at holding a conversation fluidly through, even if it is with myself, which may mean that I'm insane. But with this particular situation, I find it really messed up that Tipster was the one getting dropped. And this dude kept trying to blame Tipster. Like, even on his channel, he's like, it's Tipster's fault. I didn't send that email. The email's been leaked. Your email to Screenwave has been leaked. People know what you now said, okay? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. People are aware of what the fuck you said. You can't paint the picture differently now. All the pieces to the puzzle are out. You acted like a crazy little twat, and then you tried to say you reached out to lawyers. No lawyer would let you send out a demand letter like that. Because if I went to court with you and someone pulled out that demand letter, the judge would look at you and be like, you're a petulant child. You are literally off your damn meds. So, with with this being said, in all fairness, actually there's no fairness here, it's still pretty shitty. I don't feel like his MCN should have dropped him. I feel like that's literally them dropping the ball altogether. I don't feel YouTube should be allowing this dude to make false copyright strikes. Now, if Tipster literally just took his whole video and put it up on his channel, yeah, that's a copyright strike. But he didn't. That's not how that worked. That's not even what happened. If Tipster probably even farted this dude's name, he would probably just try to make a copyright strike over it. Shit happens. But it's more terrifying that someone acts this way because you didn't really want to work with them. He didn't even publicly diss the kid until after that, because the dude started throwing a temper tantrum about Tipster not really wanting to interview or have him in the video. I've worked with plenty of other YouTubers. Usually I pick YouTubers that I absolutely love their content. And the best thing I can tell you to do is ask. Plenty of YouTubers have asked me. So, for example, like when Hipster was on my channel. She wanted to know if we could work together. Yeah, that was my idea. I tossed it out to her. Would you like to do a channel takeover? And sometimes it is very hard to do something where you're both in a video together. That part can be a lot trickier. Especially if you're going to both film your parts separately and then combine them. That's kind of why I always like channel takeovers best, is just because it's your chance to show my audience what you can do and possibly gain some of my audience. That's what I do. It's how I like it. Oh, I really like this content. I didn't know I'd like this guy. Or girl. Could be a girl. Obviously, Bra was on this channel too. The second time we worked together was a collab. And keep in mind, I usually don't work with channels that have as many subscribers as me. And there are other channels I would really like to work with. Obviously, I did a channel takeover on Proto Mario's channel. That one was pretty exciting. But a lot of what you have to understand is it's harder to do an interview, especially if you really don't like the person or their personality. And especially if they are crazy enough to send that kind of a letter to your MCN. That comes off as a bit stalkerish. Yeah, a little bit psychopathic, even, if you would. But it is what it is. So, guys, I'd love to hear your feedback on this. You can let me know in the comments down below. This situation's obviously blown up a lot more than what I originally thought it would have. I kind of thought this was just going to get swept under the rug, not really be a big deal. Especially because the dude only has like 4,000 subscribers. And then Tipster's MCN dropped him over this dude? Like, are you kidding me? I mean, he gets like 100 views a video. Not that that's a bad thing, but there's a reason why he gets 100 views a video. They're just not good videos. Sorry, not sorry. I'm also not going to mention his name because he really doesn't need any more attention than he's already gotten, so let me know what you guys think. Also, if you follow me anywhere else, links are, as always, in the description box down below. And don't forget to drop a thumbs up on this video if you enjoyed the video. And you can also click that subscribe button, ding the little bell. It'll let people know when I upload, supposedly. So, see y'all soon. I'll have plenty more content coming for you, and stick around.